Elton John, Me, Elton John Official Autobiography. Step into the remarkable life of music icon Elton John with this book summary of Me, Elton John Official Autobiography. Learn about Elton's tumultuous upbringing with unloving parents and how his talent for music emerged at a young age. Gain insights into his journey to fame, his long-lasting partnership with lyricist Bernie Taupin, and the struggles he faced with addiction and self-acceptance. By delving into this summary, you'll witness the rise of a living legend, the hardships he overcame, and the diverse experiences he encountered throughout his career, from the heights of success to the depths of personal pain.
Elton John's parents, a traumatic childhood. Elton John's childhood was filled with fear and punishment from his parents. Stanley and Sheila John's dysfunctional relationship resulted in a troubled upbringing for Elton. His father's critical attitude and his mother's violent behavior left lasting impacts on him, even as he became a successful musician. Despite his attempts to maintain a relationship with his mother, her controlling and volatile behavior towards his household staff and her objection to his marriage to David Furnish demonstrate her overall resentment towards him. Ultimately, Elton John was unable to purchase his parents' approval, highlighting the negative effects of a dysfunctional family dynamic on children. Elton's musical journey. Elton's passion for music started at a young age, having the ability to pick out a song's melody on the piano by the time he was 3 years old. He loved pop music and was inspired by Elvis Presley, which ignited his passion for rock and roll. However, his father disapproved of this new music genre, causing Elton to become rebellious and reluctant to attend his classical piano classes. Elton John's path to success. Elton John's journey to fame was a long and tumultuous one. Despite starting out in small pubs and playing terrible covers, Elton's experiences made him a brave and captivating performer, which eventually led to his big break at the Troubadour nightclub in Los Angeles. Elton John's success story is a classic tale of hard work and perseverance. While many viewed him as an overnight sensation following his 1970 debut album release, the reality was far from that. Elton had been working towards his big break for years and had experienced a plethora of setbacks and disappointments along the way. Starting at the young age of 15, Elton played at a local pub where he entertained customers with Old English drinking songs on the piano. Despite the difficulty of performing amidst violence and chaos, these early experiences made him a brave performer. Later, he joined a band called Bluesology and toured up and down the UK, but the band failed to make a real impact in the music industry. To make ends meet, Elton took on work as a session musician, recording terrible covers of current pop songs. These experiences honed his abilities as a performer and prepared him for his eventual breakout performance at the Troubadour nightclub in Los Angeles. With rock and roll legends such as the Beach Boys and Neil Diamond in the audience, Elton's performance wowed the crowd and the rest of the world took notice. The LA Times even declared that rock music had a new star. In conclusion, Elton John's path to success was a long and winding one, full of setbacks and challenges. However, those experiences ultimately shaped him into the captivating performer that he is today. Elton John's chance encounter. Elton John's failure to pass a music audition led to a serendipitous meeting with Bernie Taupin, who would become his lifelong lyricist. Taupin's lyrics intrigued Elton because of their emotional depth and became the catalyst of their partnership in writing successful hit songs. Despite humble beginnings and failed attempts in getting noticed by record labels, the duo's Your Song eventually got them the recognition and a Grammy nomination. Elton John's bizarre social encounters. Elton John's unique fame led him to encounter some bizarre situations, as he met famous people from all walks of life. One time, he mistook Bob Dylan for a gardener, and on another occasion, Michael Jackson showed up unannounced, insisting on playing video games. Elton once surprised Iggy Pop by dressing up as a gorilla, leading to a hilarious incident. Even dinner with Princess Diana, Sylvester Stallone, and Richard Gere turned into a chaos of fists and missing guests. But perhaps one of the most surreal experiences for Elton was dancing with the Queen in silence at Prince Andrew's birthday party, trying not to make the creaking floorboards too loud. Elton John, Struggles and Redemption. Elton John's rise to fame was met with personal demons of addiction and insecurity. He battled drug, alcohol, and food addiction throughout his career but found redemption through rehab. Elton John's life may have looked perfect from the outside when he reached the peak of his career, but he struggled with powerful demons. The shy little boy who was once afraid of his parents tried cocaine for the first time, believing it to be the answer to his anxiety, and it worked. The combination of cocaine and alcohol, however, made him destructive and irresponsible, causing him to trash his personal assistant's hotel room after a night of heavy substance abuse. Elton was also addicted to food, afraid of becoming fat, and often binged on tubs of ice cream before making himself throw up. In July 1990, Elton finally decided to get help after locking himself in his house for 2 weeks with only whiskey, drugs, and pornography for company. He checked himself into a Chicago clinic but left after 6 days because the clinic expected the patients to make their own beds and wash their clothes. He was embarrassed not to know how to use a washing machine. However, Elton finally decided to get sober and went back inside the clinic. He enjoyed the experience and felt like an ordinary person. For the first time in years, he wasn't a megastar but just another addict like everyone else in there. Today Elton John is still sober and has helped other celebrities get clean as well, including Rufus Wainwright, who was addicted to crystal meth. Despite facing personal demons of addiction and insecurity, Elton's journey was one of redemption through rehab. Elton John, A Life of Highs and Lows. Elton John's music career peaked in 1976, but he has since diversified his creative endeavors with great success. From composing songs for The Lion King to performing at Princess Diana's funeral, Elton's life has been a roller coaster of highs and lows. Despite his share of pain and insecurity, he is now a happily married father of 2, surrounded by love both on and off stage.
In conclusion, Me, Elton John Official Autobiography provides an intimate and fascinating look at the life of an extraordinary musician whose early experiences and family life set the stage for a lifelong journey. In this book's summary, we've followed Elton's journey from his wounding childhood to his meteoric rise to fame and the many ups and downs he experienced along the way. Through his inspiring story, we learn about his struggle with addiction, his work with legendary lyricist Bernie Taupin, and many unforgettable encounters with celebrities and royalty. Soaked in vulnerability, self-reflection, and ultimate perseverance, Elton John's story demonstrates the power of resilience and the value of staying true to one's authentic self.